before we move on to the 3D modeling workspace, let's have a visit once again to our tools right here in the 2D workspace. So in the tabs, home tabs, we are pretty much familiar with the drawing tools commands, the modify tool commands, the annotations, the layers, and as well as the properties. Right here in the drawing tools, there are still other tools right here that we haven't done yet, like for example the helix. So you can just explore that on your own, as well as the this polygon. So you can explore that on your own, or maybe we'll encounter that when we do some 3D modelings. And in the modify, there's also a lot more that we haven't maybe maybe we haven't discussed yet. But I think, like let's say for the lengthen and the edit polyline, so you can just check this out. And for the layers, you know this the importance of this layer is that you can turn on and off that layers. So let's say if I have, let's say, an object right here, and I want another layer for the dimensions. Let's say, let's create a layer, a new layer for dimensions, and I'm going to change this color to blue. Now if I'm going to put a endpoint, midpoint, the dimensions right here, and change this to this layer, if I want to turn the dimensions off, then I can just simply click this. So turn a layer on or off. So if I click that, then that layer is actually not visible to us because it's turned off. So I can turn that on and off, and the significance of this, or I mean, it will be convenient if we have a lot of layers, like maybe preparing a floor plan of a building, or a let's say 3D parts. I mean, a lot of 3D parts in just one drawing. So that layer, this layering tool will give us convenience for that application. Okay, next one is for the properties. That's gonna be the properties like the line weights. We can set that up as well, and also for the I think alphabet of lines, like continuous or hidden lines or broken lines. And what else? We also have these insert tabs, so you can just you can also attach a, let's say, an image. That's what I've done in the drawing exercises. So I just attach a picture right here. That's the picture file. So just paste it here in the workspace. So that's also possible. And also we have these geometric tool commands. That's for preparation, maybe more on manufacturing drawings. Okay, so there's a lot more to explore, but so far, once we are familiar with these tools right here, then I think we can do a lot of things. So now let's move on to the 3D workspace. Now, recall that I have said that an object actually lives in a space, and right here we can only see 2D space. But the reality is that this is actually a 3D space, projected only in 2D plane. So right here we have a home command, home button. So if we click that, you can see that our workspace shifted to 3D. So you can see now the X, the Y, and the Z axis. So again, previously we were just working in this XY plane, and the Z direction is orthogonal to our laptop screen or computer screen. But the reality is that we are this workspace is actually three-dimensional. Okay, and we can also have a plane, like let's say we want to work on this front view. That's going to be the X and Z view, and we can also work on this left or right or the back. But later on we'll find out that actually we can only draw in the XY direction. Okay, so before we go to that coordinates, let's have an overview of this 3D modeling workspace. So right here in this workspace switching, so if you click this, we have a selection of 3D basics or 3D modeling. So by default, we have, we are working in this 2D workspace or the drafting and annotation. And right now, we are going to click this 3D modeling tools or 3D basics. Okay, so let's check this out, this 3D basics. So if you click that, then we have here our ribbon tabs. You can see also tools and commands like creating a box or what else, other basic shapes, and also some modify, I think, so extrude, revolve, loft, sweep, and also editing tools and drawing tools as well. So we have here the lines, the polygons, and some modify commands. And here in the visualize tab, then we also have here options for visualization. Okay, and insert view. So the 3D modeling workspace, actually it's something like an extended version of these 3D basics. So we're going to click this 3D modeling. So in here, in this home tab, you can see it's something like an extended version. So as I've said, we also have these draw tools from the 2D workspace. We have these polylines, we have the lines, we also have the center, radius, the circles. So there's a lot right here that's also present in our 2D, so that we don't have to go back and forth into and out to this drafting and annotation workspace. Okay, we also have solid editing, we also have modify, so almost the same except that extended to 3D space. We have here 3D scale, 3D rotate, 3D move, so something like extended version. Okay, what else? We also have modeling, so it's going to be something like a modify but for 3D. And then coordinates, so this plays role actually in doing drawings in 3D space. So we have to change our UCS. So in the next video we'll be discussing this UCS, how to change our UCS, because that's actually the key in doing the drawings, because we can only draw in the XY plane, generally, because there are also commands here wherein you can do 3D, so that's also fine, but generally we can only draw in this XY and plane. And the view commands or tools, we also have here 2D wireframe, and we also have these other options. So let's try this out. Let's say we want to draw a cube, or let's use this. So I just want to draw a box, and then if we are in this 2D wireframe, then what we can see is just simply lines, and we can see through the lines at the back. But if we select this conceptual view, then that's actually a solid. Or if you want this realistic view or shaded view, then that's also possible. So at least we can actually see the entire solid object. Okay, and what else? For the view, we can also do the zooming in and zooming out by scrolling your mouse. And if we click this scroll button of the mouse, then drag it to the right or left, we still can do this this spanning option. Okay, and also if you press shift and then also press this scroll of your mouse, then you can also rotate it in any view that you want. Okay, so as you can see here, the view cube that also follows. Now in case we're in, let's say we are lost in the views, then we just have to click this home button. But now I think it shifted to perspective view. Okay, so now let's go back to wireframe and then back here. So we are back to isometric view. Then next, for these solid tabs, we have here the basic shapes: box, cylinder, sphere. We can also have the solid, I think solid editing. So it's the same as the 3D basics, but somehow extended. And also the Boolean commands. So we'll have a discussion for this. We also have solid editing for, fillet for solid. I mean for the edge of a solid, and also for the edge of the solid, we can also have taper or something like a chamfer commands, and also shell. So we'll discuss this one by one, and again, there's a lot more tools available for us right here, but we'll just focus much on this drawing and maybe coordinates and solids. Okay, so in the next video, we'll now discuss how to change our UCS.